So I'd like to introduce Rae Thomas. Rae Thomas is from Mount Vernon and Olympia, Washington. Pretty much any place along the I-5 corridor where green overpowers the eye and water overpowers the body. This is by Luisa Leja. This place feeds his work, which ranges from poetry, nonfiction, to spoken word. Ray's voice is beautifully honest and brave. His work is important to the culture of how we see ourselves inside and outside the body. Rae lets us into an authentic world of his own where we can look into our own humanity. He gives us courage to boldly be our raw selves. Welcome, Rae.
Hello. I wish I would have brought my winter coat because it's really freezing in here. Okay. I want to thank everyone who came tonight and all of the writers and staff and faculty of the writing program. And I want to give a special thanks to good old Caroline Goodwin, Anne Marino, Dodie Bellamy, Claire Chafee, Al Young, and Steve AJ. Thanks for all of your help and attention to my work. And I also want to thank my friends and family up in Washington who could not be here tonight, but I feel their presence. And I want to thank my friends and family here who came tonight to support me and my sweetie. I'm going to read a collection from my collection of short creative nonfiction pieces, and then I'm going to read some poetry. I'm going to mix it up a little bit. That's how I roll. Right? How to survive being a girl when you're a boy. Don't ever wear all boys' clothes. Accessorize. Add a feminine touch to your outfit. How about a pink belt and/or leggings with your boyfriend's button down? Don't wear boys' clothes all the time. Boys' clothes are perfect for lounging around at home or at a friend's home. For any kind of dress-up occasion, absolutely do not wear any item of boys' clothing. However, don't feel that you have to stick to pinks and reds. You can shine in that sequins blue dress. I started breaking these rules around age 10, but only in private. After smuggling my brother's clothes out of his room, I took them into the one bedroom in the house and quickly locked the door. What a relief once I was in there. Finally, I could be myself. I tried on my brother's clothes. I buttoned up his blue flannel over my t-shirt and tucked my long, dirty blonde hair into his white Georgetown Hoyas cap until it disappeared, and I looked like the pictures of boys that I was always doodling in class. I stepped onto the edge of the bathtub that faced the sink and looked at myself in the mirror. When I saw a boy looking back at me, I felt both excited and confused. Excited because I loved the way I looked. I was seeing myself without constriction, but I knew it wasn't okay. I knew that eventually I would have to leave the bathroom and return my brother's clothes. When I was 13 years old, something awful happened. I knew it was coming, but hoped by some miracle that I wouldn't get it. My period. As soon as I saw the blood on my underwear, I took them off and hid them in the closet. I stuffed toilet paper in my underwear, told my mom I was sick, and parked myself on the couch and watched TV for the next few days. Later that week, she found my stained underwear all crumpled up. She came into the living room and held them up. "Why didn't you tell me?" she said in a high-pitched voice. My heart raced and I didn't know what to say. I just wanted her to leave, or I wanted to jump out of my skin. Instead, I lay on the couch, looked down at the floor, and mumbled, "I don't know." "You know you can talk to me about this, right?" I didn't say anything, and we didn't talk about it again after that. She showed me where she kept the pads, and that was that. What are you? My mom, brother, niece, and I are staying at a cabin in Moclips, a small town on the northern coast of Washington. If you are familiar with the Washington coast, you can tell where you are by the kind of beach. Further north in La Push, beaches are more rugged with their huge rock formations rising out of the water or on the beach, and you usually have to hike a mile to get in. Further south is Ocean Beaches, a tourist trap. Driving is allowed at ocean beaches, so Jeeps, SUVs, and trucks tear up the surf, and people trash the place. But here, in Mo Clips, no driving is allowed, so the beaches are pristine, flat, and go on forever. The giant gray sky blends in with the water. After going for a walk, my niece Clarissa and I are playing with her dolls in the bedroom when she asks, "Are you a boy or a girl?" I'm taken aback and my heart thumps. The way she asks seems more significant than the question. She uses a tone that is almost accusatory. She seems both frustrated and curious by my ambiguity. Only 5 years old, and I can tell just in the way that she asks that she already knows the gender roles for girls and boys. I simply say, "Well, I'm a little bit of both, a boy and a girl." She crinkles her nose, trying to process what I've said in her 5-year-old brain. Then her face loosens. She smiles and says, "Let's jump on the bed." I'm at my friend's house, babysitting their kids, Josie and Henry. Josie is 4 years old and Henry is 2. We are playing in their room when Josie asks, "What are you? Are you a boy?" "Well, kind of. I'm a boy and a girl," I say. She seems intrigued and looks at me for a while, but not with a confused, squinty face look. She looks at me with an intense gaze that is soft and accepting. Although Josie is only 4, sometimes it seems like she must be 60 in the way that she stares at people, as if she really is looking directly into their soul. A few weeks later, I'm visiting Josie and Henry again. Once I arrive, they pull me into their messy room. I'm sitting on their bed when Josie stands in front of me with a big smile on her face and says, "Guess what?" "What?" She just looks at me and waits. "You have to guess." "You're tired and you want to go to bed?" "No," she yells and laughs. "Okay, I don't know." "I'm a boy and a girl too," she tells me. Her mom tells me later that night that whenever she sees somebody whose gender is ambiguous, she points them out and says, "Hey, there's a Rae." Okay. Initiation. It happened at the American Jewish University in Bel Air. I was there for the Lambda Literary GLBTQ writing retreat. I had been on testosterone for a few months. I noticed Aiden the first night when we were all circled up and playing getting to know each other games. He had long, dark, curly hair that was pulled back into a ponytail, and he wore a forest green t-shirt and hiking shorts. He was somebody I wanted to get to know. He was trans. His voice had that kind of high-pitched depth, and when you're trans, you can just tell. It's like gaydar, tranny-dar. I walked up to him and introduced myself and found out that he was in my poetry workshop. I also found out that the 6 out of 8 of us in the workshop were trans. How could I be so lucky? After our initial introduction, we were inseparable. We walked around the retreat grounds together late at night in shorts and t-shirt, mostly talking about gender and the transphobia that was slowly progressing throughout the course of the retreat. It was very gay and lesbian-oriented, and they divided us up into rooms by gender, women with women, men with men. I always found this gender division to be arbitrary in queer community. The organizers put me in a room with a woman, which was pretty uncomfortable for both of us. I was paired with Susan, a fiction writer who wore a visor and soccer shorts every day and talked to her wife and kid every night. She kept referring to me as she, and I constantly corrected her, but at least she apologized each time. Aiden had managed to get his own room and had said that he could help me do the same, but it was only a week, and by the time we talked about it, it was already halfway through, so I stuck it out. Aiden and I were talking about restrooms one night out on the balcony when I told him that I didn't like to go into the men's restroom. Arden's eyes lit up and he said, "Oh, I have an idea. I could go in with you and give you a tour. A friend of mine did this for me and it changed everything. Come on, let's go." Aiden grabbed my hand and led me to the men's bathroom. It was only our contingent of writers who were using the bathroom, so when we first got there, it was empty and chic with its dim lighting and silver stalls. It had an industrial dwell kind of look to it. He gave me a tour as if it was his own home. Here's the stall. Here's the urinal. I took a good look at everything. A writer from the retreat walked in at that moment. My heart sped up, and Arden smiled and said, "We're just hanging out in here," as if it were no big thing. Reggie said hi and went on to do his business. Aiden hoisted himself up to the counter, and I leaned against the wall while other men from the retreat walked in and out and glanced at us and said hi. And I'll stop there for that. And I'm going to read a few poems. This is called Uncle Dave. When I go home to Mount Vernon, Washington, he is the only man who really looks me in the eyes. His are brown, deep as the sound of him singing Hallelujah on guitar. Fear tells me, don't sit too close. He might notice the smallness of your hands, the shape of your face, the strain in your voice. And this is called He Hides His Breasts. Holy Jean sang off her waist, and he hides his breasts in flannel button-up shirts. She's made of the earth, so he praises the dirt, digs his hands in it, and learns how to pull out food. She feels tough and secure when her hair is long and hanging in his face. Her place is on a farm. She does not look into the mirrors. Instead, he finds his reflection in the garden she grows or the big open sky. He prefers to be quiet, but her laugh is a roar. He can take back space and sound when he wants it, when you least expect it. His words are granite, ancient like the scars carved into his mother's tongue. At an early age, she learned to survive in a cage. Now she sings herself to sleep and glides into the dawn of he. Likes to dance in front of mirrors, dress up and wear ties. He knows how to cry, cuts his own hair, keeps it short. His home is the city. He carries fear between his legs, keeps it a secret. His secret is a flame that burns at the bottom of a lake. His truth is that of an outlawed heart. He is illegal. Her ambition is to create a new circle of motion and expansion beyond biology. I am the one who stands in the center of the circle and outside it, stitching together words. I create poems by moving in and out. I am a needle poking at my own skin. Thank you. Thank you.